Okay, the first question will be, are you pro or con driverless cars, and why?
I'm con because driverless cars are with computers, and computers sometimes ain't safe.
Well, I am con because as it says in the text, it says the computers might not have everything on the GPS that is needed, and if there's a road construction, the car just might run in.
And add on to Mazar and Katya, sometimes the computer doesn't know the new signs at the road, and the computer can make mistakes and have a car accident.
To add on to you, that driverless cars can absolutely make a wrong decision.
It may also sometimes it needs to be only with the map. It can't go anywhere if you don't have the thing in the map.
I am con because in the text it says driverless car can't work unless road maps are loaded into the car computer. So basically, if the computer doesn't have a road, then it can't really work. It can't go where you want to go if the roads are not uploaded in it.
Someone who's pro driverless car, do you have any ideas?
I'm pro for driverless cars because if people it could evolutionize technology itself, and also if all these problems are actually solved, it may start change or something. Plus, it'll make people's lives way more easier.
I have a question. How does it gonna make it easier for some people? Who do you think it's gonna help?
Some people get stressed while driving cars, so they sometimes they do press the brakes, emergency brakes sometimes, because they think they're gonna have an accident, and then they get stressed out while driving, and they feel like they don't want to drive again. And sometimes people have car accidents, which also make people want to not drive their cars. But if they have a driverless car, they'll just be sitting, reading a book or playing on their phone or something, just getting relaxed while they're going to work.
How about if the car stopped working while the people were crossing the streets?
Maybe for that they might not have to use cars. Maybe they might have to make different roads, bridges over the roads or something like that.
Driverless cars are like computers. Computer stops.
Yeah, but computers can be updated, so if they keep updating it, then they'll be way more safe.
I have a question. What if that, sometime your phone freezes, your computer freezes? What if that computer tried to upload, but it freezed and it didn't work, and the car started moving in a certain way and go into people?
That's what emergency engines are for. So they're going to have an emergency one, a backup engine, which is going to power it in case something happens to the main engine or something.
I think I'll add on to ethic, because if something wrong goes on, you might have a manual mode. Because in the text it said that when there's an emergency or something, there might as well be a manual mode, which can make you drive for some time, and then it'll go back to the driver's car.
I have a question. What if the car crashes? Who's going to be responsible for that?
It's probably going to be the company because they make the cars.
And if they crash, the computer is gonna get, since it's made out of technology, then it's not. If it fixes, it might be less working. As that's.
So if the car crashes, the car company is gonna be responsible for that. But what if the car crashed into the people and people died? Who's going to be responsible for that?
It's still going to be the it's also about what the people were doing. So let's say they're not supposed to cross, but they cross, and the cars are gonna, it's still not your fault because they didn't go through, like they didn't follow the rules.
Well, like for example, the person who's like using the driverless cars and then updating his computer, it says the person's wrong, not the computer.
But they pay lots more money to buy the car, so they have to. So it's the company's job to make it worth it, make it safe, and make it helpful.
Yeah, but you pay a lot of that money, and not only that, human brains are way smarter than computer brains and act faster. So when you're usually driving, you can press the brakes faster than computers, because computers usually takes them a while to actually upload and see what's going on.
Adding on to Nazar, I agree with what he says about that we are smarter than computers. So what if the car, there's one car on the other side and another car on the other side, and we can find something to do with that. But the driverless cars, which is controlled by a computer, it might do one thing that you don't want it to. So I'm not sure, because if a driverless car makes a wrong mistake that you don't want to, it's just gonna make the wrong mistake.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit. That you said like the driverless cars are for like people who want to relax. What if they were sleeping and they crashed? And that might be. You said if you crash in or something, it's gonna be all like the car company's responsibility. But if the person who was sleeping and there was like emergency like brake or something, and the person who was sleeping didn't press, I think that's gonna be the driver's responsibility. What do you think?
Well, since they're gonna have to do it safely, and since if they're sleeping, and if, let's say I'm driving a car and they're like airbags, then if it's a driverless car and if they're sitting or sleeping somewhere, even if they're sleeping, their head's still gonna hit the airbag. They don't have and since it's probably gonna be like those advanced airbags, which is gonna give them a way more higher chance to live.
I meant like, how do you stop the car even like you're sleeping or like you're playing a game or something, and you notice like a second before you're gonna crash into something and they couldn't press? Is that gonna be a car's company's responsibilities, or?
Well, it's kind of about the contract you sign. So let's say in the contract it says that they will handle everything. You don't have to do anything about the car. You don't have to drive it. You don't even have to have a driver's license. Then you won't be responsible if anything happens. But let's say if you don't read the contract and just sign it, and they have something against that in the contract, then it's probably your fault.
Okay, time is up. I'm gonna stop you right here.